from the heart of Dubai, where tomorrow is being built today, to the world. Welcome to the CTO Show with Mehmet. Here, we redefine technology and reimagine possibilities. With Mehmet, delve into the riveting realms of AI, cybersecurity, and digital technology. Experience the thrilling highs and lows of startups. Immerse yourself in the spirit of entrepreneurship and witness the future of business innovation being written in real time. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and explore the future.
Hello and welcome back to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. Today I'm very pleased joining me someone very close geographically, which is I get excited when I have founders from the region. Walid Abou Ali. Walid, thank you very much for being with me on the show today. The way I like to do it is I keep it to my guests to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit more about your journey and what you are currently up to.
Yeah, thank you, Mehmet, I'm happy to be in your show today. So let's start I started my journey. I was not in software engineering, not in technical industry. I started as a 3D artist. I know it looks weird, but it was my passion for a long time. But even when I used to do 3D animation and stuff, part of things I like to do was building plugins for 3ds Max. Even I have plugins still used till today by people around the world. So, and at the same time, I had passion for game development. So these two passions plus the animation, all of this made me, go through towards the technology sector. By time, I start seeing myself enjoying the writing code more and more. I like the fact that you can turn an idea into something people can use. So this dragged me more into software. Then it became I'm doing both things, 3D animation and software 50-50. Then more software and less 3D animation. And last maybe I think 4 or 5 years, it's all software engineering, no more 3D animation in my life. I focused all my energy into this field. So in software, I worked in different entities. I worked in local companies, big ones, small ones, startups. I worked also almost 3 years at IBM Dubai. Then, till we reach the journey now in Places where founder and CTO of Places, which we can, of course, explain more when we have the discussion. But this is a summary of my journey, where it started, where I am now.
Fantastic, Walid. I like these stories. It reminded me, when you said you enjoyed when you do something like you build a software and people use it. And there's a famous video by Steve Jobs when he say, it was a turning moment for him when he figured out that you create something and people start using it. Like this is something really nice to hear from you. Yeah, so I like also this is a kind of a traditional question at the CTO show. I love to know, Walid, a little bit about Places. So, you know, where the idea came from, what inspired you to have this journey with the with your co-founders, and what is the vision for it? So, feel free to tell me a little bit more about Places.
Okay, to know more about Places, how it started, I have to start back a few years ago.
Sure.
Something happened. It was like the spark of this. So I'm a foodie myself. Also, I used to be a competitive eater, which means these people who eat great amount of calories for fun. So I was one of them, yeah, for some time. And I used to have a YouTube channel about doing food content, but it didn't go very well. But there was one video, it was the last video on the channel. I said I want to do my best in it. Just, and it's my retirement video. So best visual effects, best editing, all of this. And I have something. I want to make my car a character in the video. So how I made it, I built an app, runs on Android. You can speak to it in Arabic, and it can search for restaurants and respond you back in Arabic and show you the results on screen. And my car at that time had an Android system. I installed it in my car and used it in the episode. I was going for burger restaurants in that video. So I said in Arabic, Audi, ابحثي عن مطاعم برجر في دبي, which means Audi, which is my car, search for burger restaurants in Dubai. And the search presented on screen, and I picked restaurants from them and start visiting them, like 5 restaurants. The funny thing is, everybody thought it was a visual effect. No one believed it's a real app that's working, and actually it was a real app. I built it that time with an available public API of Dubai restaurants, and I coded it like in 2 days, something like this, something very small. And this was left aside till, years later, I met Matthew Davidson, who is the CEO of Places currently. Like, we met somewhere, and we used to work together. We used to chat a lot. He's also a foodie. He used to chat a lot about food, like uh, where the best shawarma is, where things like this here. And one day, I told him the story of this video and showed him the app. And when he tried it, like he was like, Walid, one day we have to build this into something bigger. Like the the fact you can search this easily, like voice or text or whatever, but you are doing a very nice idea. We have to turn it into a business point of time. And 2 years passed, no discussion about this. So, but still, I believe it was in Matthew had always, he needed to do something about F&B. And also this idea like triggered the spark again. Till he one day, he spoke to me like, you know what? Matthew is like one of the top business people in the automotive industry here in Dubai. Like he's very known, like every car business you think about, Matthew has worked in it or part of it or has connection in it. He's really very well connected. This industry is one of the top entrepreneurs in it. But he likes food. Me also likes food. So he said, you know what? My last project before I retire, I want to be F&B. And I'm thinking about building an app, help people discover F&B in Dubai like they never saw before. At the same time, it was the rise of the AI hype, ChatGPT, all these kind of things. So we said we start discussing like, what can we build in this? And it turned out, biggest challenge you have in Dubai is where to find a good dish. Like, for example, you like eggs Benedict. Where's the best one? Or you need to know what restaurants have it. Okay, you need to know eggs Benedict, and also you need to have a smoking area, things like this. As a foodie, how I do it usually, I go search every app you can think about. I go search Talabat, Zomato, at that time, like Deliveroo, whatever delivery apps. I have maybe 6, 7 delivery apps on my phone because I know they have the updated menus. And then I go search Google to validate the location and amenities. Then you can go search something like the TripAdvisor to see what recommendation says about it. It's like a long journey to really have a list of restaurants that, this dish can be here, I can go here and try it. And as a foodie, the worst thing I hate in life is I order a food or go to a restaurant and have food and it's not to my expectations. So to fix this problem, we said, you know what? We will collect all the data from Dubai, from every F&B place, restaurants, cafes, bars, all of this. Like, put them into one place and build a very advanced search engine on top of this that it makes you search very easily. For example, like in places I want a dog-friendly cafe that has eggs Benedict and has like lemon juice, something like this. So see like the complexity of this term. You look for a place with 2 dishes, should be in the menu, and it's have to accept dogs. Imagine also if you add also it should be in a specific area and you want with high rating. All these combinations, when we did places, there is no system that can give you all of this from a single search prompt. And this was the focus. We want you to write the normal English, the normal English you use in your daily life, and it responds you back with an accurate results of F&B restaurants. No like non-matches. For example, it happens to us in many other apps. You write something, there's no matches, it throw you with other results that are not related. We don't do this. Also, the data itself. People sometimes shocked when I say this, but the biggest amount of people we have in places is in the data entry team. It's the biggest team we have. I don't like to call them data entry. I like to call them data engineers because they are not just filling Excels. They are people who collect, validate, communicate with restaurants to get the latest information. It's a very tough job to do. And why they are our biggest team? Because without this data, there will be no places. This is like what set us apart from day one. The accuracy of data we have. Then it's the search engine. Of course, we have the second big team is the engineering team. So building such a search engine was a challenge in the beginning. Especially people will always compare you to Google, will compare you to ChatGPT, or compare to others. And I can say today we are in a stage where we can beat every other search engine and other prompts. And I can make it a public challenge. Pick a prompt you can do in places and put it in any other app and compare the results and say which one is more accurate. Call the restaurants and validate it yourself.
One thing, jokes aside, Walid, what I like in
Yeah.
this journey and story is that you have put, of course, first of all, the idea is coming out of a challenge that yourself you face, and of course, a lot of other people they have faced. But what I liked more, honestly, is what how you thought about the customer journey. And while you were explaining, I said, yeah, actually, this is what I do. For example, if I have guests coming from abroad and they're visiting, let's say, Dubai the first time, or the UAE, and yeah, I have, because for me, I know the places I go usually, I know my dishes, but maybe they will come and say exactly to your point. And sometimes I even do more, let's call it due diligence, for that. Oh, do they offer that? Do they have good ratings? Like, maybe people will relate. You know what? Maybe not enough to go and check, let's say, TripAdvisor. I want like another source also as well.
Yeah.
So the time that you spend on this is like a project by itself. So really amazing. How a project that comes out of self frustration first, second, it touches everyone's lives. And I like the fact. So, question, Waleed, so you mentioned like you can talk in the app that you developed before. So today, is it the same thing? Can you, like, is it voice?
Yes, it has both text and voice. But let's be honest, still like voice based, it's not that common with people. Maybe the amount of users are using voice, it's very, very low. Like most of the people, but it's text because you are right typing in the metro, you are writing anywhere. Voice recognition technology, like pick your phone, use, I don't know if you are iPhone or Android, pick the voice recognition on your phone and try to speak in a noisy place. Many things that can happen. Especially Dubai F&B is complicated because of the multicultural. Like
Right.
there is a job, sorry, a dish in Japanese. You need to speak it in English. Google voice recognition will not like pick it right. That's why we have the voice from day one and both Arabic and English. But it's still like we need to wait even for the technology in the world to be bigger. To be, for example, now I'm using an video broadcast to make the noise cancellation and all of this while I'm having this interview with you. Once you have something like this on the phones, we will have more voice-based apps. But as a place, we are ready and it's already built. It's not like we need to catch up. It's there. But that's why you'll not see much marketing around it in places because we know like it's not the ideal situation still currently, maybe for the way users. We are focused more on text, but both works fine, works identical. If the phone can understand what you said, you will have the same result as typing at places.
I see. Waleed, like, out of curiosity, and maybe, like, I know you're the CTO, but like, what's the business model like for such application? Like, okay, for Google they can put ads, like a TripAdvisor, again, sponsored, blah blah blah. So what's the model for you?
Okay, so you mean the revenue model, how we can make revenue out of
Yeah,
it. See,
just out of curiosity.
okay, yeah. So for user, it's totally free. So our app is totally free. All you need is a Dubai SIM card because we require a valid phone
Hmm.
number to log into places. Make sure there is no spam, there is no fake reviews, there is no nothing like this. This review come really from the places themselves. See, we are solving a problem for users, but there is bigger problem we are solving for places, the restaurants, the bars, the cafes. See, the amount of money places are paying to list their offers, to list themselves, to be appear on searches. All of this is massive. Like we are hearing like massive budgets. How places is a better choice for the restaurants or cafes or bars at first. Everybody on places is a foodie. Like if you run an ad on like Facebook or Google, you are targeting massive amounts. Oh, some of them can afford this. Places, you are of course, you know who everybody here is foodie. You know what people are searching for. I know you are searching for steaks. So you are more attracted towards steaks. I know like what's your profile? You are a vegan, you are vegetarian, you are low carb, what allergies you have. All of this information like are given to places into a very informative analytics that can help them. We are not selling your data to a third party. It's like you visit the restaurant page, we give this person the analytics about you according to what data you put on places, not something hidden behind. So we start with restaurants with free dashboard, which means you can manage your menu, you can manage your profile page, you can like do one promotion, like one active promotion at a time. Then you can upgrade to Pro Dashboard, which is paid. What's the advantage of this? The first thing is you can have like multiple like promotions active. We call it feature posts. It can be event or promotions. What's the value of having this? Let's say you have buy one get one free on breakfast or discount on ladies night. If someone in the search right, I want the places with ladies night, you will appear. Still, I'm not using this to spam you with ads as a user. It means you can search for it. We will match you with them. The second thing is we allow you to add more photos of your place and allow to add videos of your place. What's the advantage of this? In places we have also, when you log in the app, you didn't search anything yet. Also, some people don't know what to do. We came up with something called like inspiration wall. It's like Instagram experience. You scroll, but all the content you see are the photos and videos from places, profiles, offers, events, promotions, menus. So you are, again, it's Instagram, but only for F&B. So by adding more photos and videos, you have more chance to appear on this. Like, plus you get the analytics of who's the searches you are appearing at and places. You are getting analytics of your visitors at places. You are also getting analytics of your sector. We have our own algorithm to categorize places into sectors based on their information, their price ranges, all these kind of things. So I can tell you, for example, in your sector, what's trending today is like a vegan pesto pizza. So as a place owner, you think, oh, maybe I should add this item if I want to attract more people, like things like this. And we are still like, and also we have another thing for sports. I don't know if you are football fan or anything. I'm not myself. I'm not. The only sport I like is MMA, but it doesn't have too much people here. But for example, people who watch football games, I hope people can relate. You want to watch a football match in a place that serves a specific dish. There is no way you can have this. Only in places. Places team every week go and takes all the football matches, all the Formula One races, and all the rugby matches. Why these three? Because our research found these are the top three sports people like to watch in Dubai outside. We index all of them. If you are subscriber to the places pro sports plan, you go in your dashboard and just go to clicks. One click say you are airing this match or not, and another click say you are airing it with audio or not. What happens again? You rank in places. I want to watch Manchester United versus Liverpool while having a bacon burger. You will appear. So we are giving all of these solutions for places, make them appear in the searches better, and plus get analytics out of this. And by the time we will have more things, more plans to get benefits for places that can also bring us revenue, but I cannot like say all of them now. We wait till everybody will know about them. But this is the main model. Like we want to give things for places that really make them appear in our app and make them don't need to waste all or spend too much extra money everywhere else. One of the advantage for restaurants or bars, cafes using us, we don't charge any fees like from your offers. You know, most of solutions that make you list your offers, they are you are paying all this 25% from the bill as a place owner, and also the platform you use to list your offer is taking a percentage out of it on top of that. Same thing with ordering, same with all of this. We don't do this. You pay the fixed fee for our dashboard. You go put one offer, you put 20 offers. We don't charge you extra for this. So we are helping you to claim, make your offer stand out without paying extra fees.
Really amazing, Walid. Now, I want to go back to the technicality part. You mentioned, like, that you had a, let's say, not difficulty, but you said like building a search engine for such sophisticated use case was kind of a challenge. Now, when we say challenge, and this is where the CTO comes into the
Yes.
place, right? So like without going, of course, I believe maybe you have a proprietary technology behind it, but on a high level, like, did you have, for example, to leverage a mix between, what usually a traditional search engine does, plus, the benefit that, something like OpenAI API can do? So when doing this development of the core, which is the search actually, you know like, what are the methodologies, like, without going, even if you want, in the details of the technology, that you have used, so you made that challenge, you know appears easy at the end?
Okay. See, what we came up in places is like a unique formula. I will tell you a little bit about my history with search engines in general,
Sure.
because I'm obsessed with search since long years, and I hate every search engine that exists. You always had two options before the AI. We have two options. One one field to search in, and it gives you really very generic results. Or you have these forms, they call them advanced filters. You need to fill a big form to get a curated result. Like 3 years ago, I was working on a patent research, like making new way of search, but I didn't file it. In the end, I had some circumstances that I couldn't file it, but I did a big research, writing the code, doing the technology behind it, but I kept it on the shelf for myself. Then the AI era came. Everybody went to, oh, you should now do it like a chat. What's the challenge of doing it without a chat? The first thing is the cost. People don't know that, but ChatGPT running cost as infrastructure is $100,000 per day. Like, the running
Ooh.
cost is crazy. Second thing is a delay. You run something to ChatGPT, they spend minutes till you get your results, back and forth, and every time you time process. So why people need something quick to get results quickly? So you have two options. One, text search field, which gives you quick results and work in a legacy way, but it's very generic. Or you go advanced form, can give you fast results, but the user need to do too many steps. Or you go to AI, the user do less steps, but it takes time in processing and the cost is massive. We created a hybrid of all of this. Like, our engine is the back-end engine is considering it as like a form of filters. But the
Hmm.
form filters, the user is not filling. You are writing just a text. This text, we are using our own AI model to analyze this text and convert it to filters. And then this goes to the legacy way of searches, which is very fast. It's called legacy because it's for the AI era, but actually this is how search engines works. Like, you have many search engines, technologies has been there for tens of years, for decades, like serving searches. So they are the best tools you can use. Really, you can put data in them, index it in the right way, and they can extract it. The thing is, you need to tell them what exact filters you are looking for. Here, our AI models are coming to take what the user wrote, convert it to the format that these search engines understand. What the advantage we had in this? At first, the AI model is trained in-house inside places, which means the AI models are not coming with this massive extra data you don't need. This is a big mistake happens. If you can go take something like the GPT model itself, it has, I don't know the number, something maybe thousands of billions of data that you don't need, but you are paying the penalty of hosting this data. And you need more GPU to run it because of this. No, we took AI models, trained them with the data we need, trained mainly on places data. This is very important, so they understand everything we have. Then we end up with AI models, lightweight. Hosting them is not, like, it costs money, of course, but it's not that massive amount. And these AI models can perform like something like 100 to 200 milliseconds. So,
Hmm.
and all their job is to not look into data. I'm giving you a text. Tell me what filters the users mean by this. If it was a filter for what user will populate it with. And of course, we continue monitoring the result of this and like enhancing it by time. It's cycles of this, but this is the formula. It's like combination between AI and what actually a good search is, like for the last 30 years. Combine them both, you have the best results, because the focus is not to follow a hype or trend. We need to build the right technology, which is you see everything exists, take the best of every word and combine them into one.
Right. Um, I had a another episode. So okay, for the sake of transparency, we usually the episodes are recorded almost like 1 month before they get released. So
Yes,
now by the time now you're gonna be listening or watching this is so it's gonna be like now 2 months since I had this conversation.
yes,
So it looks like Walid, you mentioned something very fundamental, and I like this because when AI started to come out, the people, like, like it's a, they said it's the gold rush, and we started every single person going to OpenAI, later to Gemini, and then to Anthropic, which is they have the Claude, which people they didn't think that, yeah, like why I'm paying. And by the way, to your point, like you have to pay for the API calls, and actually you are sometimes um, getting results for something not related to what you do because it's general model. So what I wanted to ask you, do you think now it gonna become like you remember like at some stage, so first there was like this idea of, for example, you build a project specific database, for example, in the old client server model. So we had like a database, and each customer, or each client, they customize this database to their needs, right? So you can't have a database that fits all. So is the LLM becoming, kind of, the database in a sense of a software engineering program? So this is kind of the platform that we need to focus on to build it in house. Of course, hosting it, we can debate this on premise, in cloud. But are you seeing this LLM becoming the core instead of the database?
See, I see LLM is really overhyped, overused. It's being enforced into things it don't need to use LLM. See, like people think AI is LLM. No, artificial intelligence is something exists since years before LLM. Like
Right.
this is why I no, I don't think you see LLM is not going to be focused anytime soon. Like see, LLM has specific applications that will be great. I would say, for example, if uh, home assistants and the assistants we have on our phones starts using some offline LLMs, it will be a great application to have. But still, whatever you do, doesn't matter how much LLM will have extra processing time. Doesn't matter how much the hardware will expand because LLM is like having a conversation with a person. It's like you need to ask the question and you need to process and give the answer and then correct the context. Like this is the LLM lifestyle. It's a fact that LLM takes processing time. So if you are building something customer facing and the customer expectation is it need to give results quickly, LLM will never be the choice. It's like I'll give another example. When you pick a database in for your project, we have relational and non-relational databases. Some people think one of them can replace the other one. Actually, you have to use both based on the application you need to build. So, like if you want like some good data management and all of this, you need to use relational. But if you are doing searches, you are doing analytics, you need quick results, you need to use like no, like non-relational databases. And most of companies have hybrid of both. This is the same thing where I was saying, LLM will replace database, LLM will replace all of this. It will be just another element based on the application you will need it or not. So I don't agree with enforcing LLM in everything. It's just to use it where you need it.
You know, as technologists, this is what we always say. We say, pick a technology that fits the problem. Don't search a problem that you can, use that solution for it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and this is what happens usually in hypes like this. Um, Funny enough, like multiple conversations we used to have, especially when the AI with the chat GPT was still very new. I mean, released to the public. So people ask, can you show me the AI features? And the guy is saying, yeah, we have a machine learning model, in the background, and it is, using like, for example, this algorithm to do predictions, to do that. No, 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 no. Where is the chat? Okay, my friend, AI is not a chatbot only. Of course, it's one of the use cases, which is, the natural
Yeah.
language processing, and then, the all the things that I don't want to go in details, but yeah, 100%. But I like this approach, Walid. And this brings me to the other question. Now, as a CTO, of course, the CTO bridges the gap between the business requirement, the startup requirements in your case, and the technology. So how it's important, to be, sometimes we get excited about technologies in general. Like forget,
Yes.
like whether it's AI, whether it's, but as a CTO, like how from your personal experience, how you can hold yourself and say, hey, hold on 1 second, does this fit my business or not? I'm asking you this question because maybe for fellow CTOs who might be, hyper and so what's your advice for them to calm down and really pick the solution that fits their startup business, whatever?
Okay. See, when you take technical decision, there's two problems. One of them is what you said. You want to, to test everything. You want to try everything, energy. And there's another thing. You will always think the technology you like is the best. These are two problems many people who architect systems fall into. See, like, for me, at least, I never had this problem because I had this kind of problems before places and I fixed them in myself before places. Because I have been like leading teams, architecting solutions for like maybe 5, 6 years before places. So I learned through the journey, like by observation. First thing, you need to be a person honest with yourself and you need to identify here you did a mistake, here you did something right. When you do the mistake, you need to decide why it happened. I found myself like historically, like I did some wrong choices because I was picking the technology I like, which means, you know what? No, it's wrong. Before I build something, I have looked at every technology, and either it's a technology I like or hate, I have to think about like all the aspects of what I'm trying to build and where it fits. The other thing is, you want to try everything, you want to watch everything. When I faced this problem myself years ago and I overcome it because I find myself, I'm just writing code, throwing it, writing other code, throwing it, because, after the excitement's going start looking at, oh, yes, it looked an exciting technology, but now it's not what I expected. I can give an example for people from years ago, GraphQL, when Facebook released GraphQL, it was, I was so hyped for it. Like how they change how we do API calls and all of this. And I started want to enforce GraphQL in everything I'm doing. I found myself I'm over applicating the project for myself, for the engineers working with me and all of this. And in the end, what I did, I stopped using GraphQL, but I took the concepts I want or I need from GraphQL and apply them myself easily. I found I could write a code and maybe in few hours that covers what I did from GraphQL without paying the penalty of having the full GraphQL ecosystem in my applications, because it changes your back end, your front end, how you do all the communication. Yeah. So you need to be it's aware of this. It's a maturity you need to reach. You cannot teach it to people easily, but you have to know. And to measure it very well, you have to listen to the people who work with you. For example, if places like we picked a backend framework that I hate, but why I picked it? Because it is the right backend framework and technology to use to build something like this. But to select it, I have when I hired like my head of backend, the backend engineers and all of this, I hired people who are expert in this technology, and I started listening from them a lot. There are many things I used to have this technology for. I found, I didn't have the enough knowledge. That's why I was hating so much. There are other aspects I didn't know about. So always I listen from the people who works with me. They are above you, they are under you in the hierarchy. It doesn't matter who have the expertise, you have to listen to them. I'm now building an application with PostgreSQL, for example. I have a person who know it very well. I have to go listen. Then I'm going to do a research and all of this. Not because you are the top of the hierarchy. The decision should be isolated to you because you have the authority. If you will do like this, you can. But I guarantee the failure for you after time. You need to always listen to everybody, do your research, take all the opinions, put your personal opinions aside and do the judgment. This is the only way to do it and have the correct solution.
Walid, this is wisdom, like,
Yeah.
and I think this comes after many trial and errors
Yeah.
because, uh, you know, I work in technology, but not on the coding side much, like more into, let's say, systems and all and infrastructure networking. And yeah, like, yeah, you see the toys, that comes out. Hey, like, let's try to see if we can fit that in here and let's try to put that in there. And that, to your point, what we figure out, okay, you know what? It was much simpler even with the like without mentioning names, of course, now. like, oh, let's get like the latest version of this operating system that they have 100 new features released. Okay, but you know what? Like that old style, you know, 30 years old thing was working fine and we didn't have problems. So actually, when, like sometimes even you would increase the number of problems that you need to solve um when you adapt a new thing. So of course, but I like your way also, Walid. Like you allow people to go explore and then let's see, like I
Yes.
like, how you segregated these two. Now you talked about scaling, and I'm talking about technical
Yeah.
perspective scaling. um from your experience, like, because we hear the term technical debt a lot, and because some, I don't like to call them mistakes, but maybe some, yeah, let's call them mistakes. Maybe wrong decisions. Maybe we didn't, we were not aware. Maybe we thought this. So, how much is important, Walid, is also from a CTO perspective to watch out, while we are scaling? Because just as sake of example, so maybe if today you have, let's say, 10,000 active users, and I don't know, maybe 100,000 plays. I mean, your other side of the table. So maybe tomorrow you're gonna have like 100,000 here and 1 million on the other side. So
Yeah.
so what is the best approach to prepare for this scale and avoid, what is known as the technical debt?
Okay. I will give an advice that give it to every startup co-founder. You should have an in-house high-skilled DevOps engineer. DevOps, like people who build infrastructure and manage it. Why I'm giving this advice? Because almost in every startup I worked in the region, Places is the only startup that has this dedicated position. Like really, we have a head of DevOps. He is top skilled, highly paid, all of this, like we didn't hire, you cannot go cheap with such things. Like, I know if you say one DevOps engineer, you can have very people who are in like junior skills or medium skills, but because of the salary, because of the budgets, or like from day one, I know this position need a very good budget and I need to find like a very high skilled guy. Look, I was lucky. Like one of my friends is really uh, a very, very skilled DevOps engineer. He has, I don't know how many certificates from Amazon AWS. Like he has been doing it for long years. But even with him, we need other people. We hunted another talent, like someone at his level and all of this. Why? These people worked with the scaling solutions before and they know the challenges. The biggest problem in scaling a solution, it's not the code. The code is the second problem. The first problem is your infrastructure.
Mhm.
Can your infrastructure scale? Is your database set up right? Is your server set up right? Like also, are you paying the right amount of money for your infrastructure bill? I have seen companies who pay 5 times the bill they need to pay because they are just put everything over scaling. And I think other companies, they are paying cheap, but they can never scale. I have met companies who their production database are public on the internet. It means if you have database credentials, you can access all the data. And
Wow.
guess what? The database credentials never rotates. And these are companies that have been years in the market. How do you avoid all of this? Of course, as a co-founder, you can do all of this. I have some knowledge of this, but I am not a dedicated DevOps engineer. I can never do it the best. So I give it to the experts people. But how will I have discussions with them? They give me ideas, suggest, and they give me, we do cost estimations, we go rotate. I start challenging their ideas. What about this cheaper solution? What about this? What about this? From this discussion, we have all of it. You can say you can go to a third-party consultant. Yes, but it's much harder to find a third-party consultant who cares. Why? I have this like opinion. Doing third-party work is about the timesheets. If I hire you a third party, your priority is the timesheet. If was the guy who don't listen, and I'm working in the slavery mode where you just follow my orders, I'm paying this timesheet, you know what? It's not my company why I should care. Some people will still have the care, but many of them people will go to this. But if he's a person in the company, part of the company members. Also, you are giving them some equity in the company. All of this, if I did the stupid decision, they will come to me and say, "Stop! Here you are going wrong." So these discussions between me and the DevOps engineers, what made places scalable with reasonable budget. And really, I took some wrong decisions like multiple times. Then the second thing come into the code. Here, I had enough experience to know how to write a scalable code. But if you don't have it, the same thing. Go find like lead software engineers that know how to write scalable codes and have them in your company. This way you should spend money.
Right. So it's about building the right team. It's about,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, and one of the things that I repeated a lot, and I hope like others. So for you, Walid, I think you're really and even before we did this podcast, so what I see in you, you're acting like a real CTO who knows all the aspects of the technology, not only the coding, right? And this is what what the CTO. And you mentioned something about um, a database being exposed online, and I was surprised even by more simple things, like maybe database online. It's a extreme scenario. You and me, we might argue, but asking like much simpler things regarding hygiene and uh, precautions for simple security. And I figure out that what, if it happens, it happens, or it will not happen to us. And I tell people, no, it's on the opposite. Like they will come after you because they think that you don't care, and you for them it's one of the hundreds of target people that they would decide, or startup that they decide to go. So thank you for bringing this. Now I want to take, as we're coming to the end almost. You're based in the MENA region, Walid, and the MENA region from CTO's perspective, it changed a lot. So if I can't imagine myself, let's say year 2010 or 2011, and I'm having a podcast with a CTO of a startup in MENA region. Of course, there were like couples, but we can count them on maybe one hand. So how have you seen this transformation in the startup space in MENA region, in the UAE specifically? Now, of course, like other countries, Saudi, Qatar, Oman, all they are picking up actually, Jordan even. So, how have you seen this, and what are you seeing the next trends? I would say from tech in our region.
Okay. See, like whenever like a new wave happens, you always have too many things going up. Then most of them fall down, and only the good one stays. The same thing I can say here. See, like when like I have seen many companies call them themselves startups, and really they are not startup. They don't depend on like fundraising or anything. A guy called his company startup just to follow a trend. It's just a company owned by one person who fund the whole company. Yeah, like they call it startup. Also, the position CEO, CTO, whatever, like many places the CEO and CTO are the same person, which is doesn't make sense for me. Like really, I don't see it can happen. But I have seen it before. Also, I have seen like CTO is what? CTO is the engineer that you don't want him to work for you for free. This also other
Mhm.
companies. So there's big wave, many mistakes in it, but at least it makes, if you are a person who really can build a good company, now you have the motivation and now you feel much safer to build it. Like I was offered to make companies like from years ago, and I was rejecting it because the first thing, I feel I cannot do it. The market is not ready. What I have in mind cannot be accepted in the market. Now with all of this, now it's easy to go to an investor, say, we are startup in tech, we are startup in this. Like speak about 10 years ago, you go to a CTO and you say, I want to make an app that makes F&B search much easier. Like, do you think anyone will get what you're speaking about? Now the investor, this helped educating the investors about technology. Like before, maybe investor was mostly real estate, we can say, like 10 years ago. So this helped a lot in this. I know it has mistakes. I know many people are taking titles while they are not the top intent with the company, but it helps the good people to go step in the market and build something like this. So without this wave, I will never be having building places today.
Right. So what you just mentioned, Walid, I think as we call it, growing pains for an ecosystem. Uh, I'm optimistic all the time, and like people. Sometimes when I tell them this, I've seen this. When the first sign of people trying to build something here, and these are heroes. Of course, if I want to count, I'm afraid I will miss some people. But really, there are some names here in the region that they started this wave, and hats off for them, because
Yeah.
after that only, we start to see and yeah, but of course now, but let me tell you the other side of the of this, Walid. So the same thing that nowadays you see people who call them startups or themselves, I mean their companies, or they call themselves CEO, CTO. Unfortunately, also on the other side of the table, there are people who are calling themselves investors, and they are calling themselves, you know, uh, expert in
Entrepreneurs. Yeah.
and regardless, like I don't have problem with people calling themselves, whatever, but as long as you don't go and trick people, right? So if someone I don't know, he or she, they are on LinkedIn and they call themselves entrepreneurs, investor, whatever, and but they don't harm people. I mean, they don't
Yes.
do actions to trick people. I'm fine with it. I don't care really. Maybe they are trying. Okay, I will encourage them. But what I don't like is when someone claims something and then
They
they
don't
start
deliver.
to act to trick, and so I,
Yeah.
I need an episode about this maybe later, but
I think
nevertheless, yeah, exactly. Waleed, just final thing, where
yeah.
people can, download the app, or where they can find the site, and where they can get in touch with you.
Okay. At first, our website is placesUAE.com. Very easy name for anyone to remember. You can download the app from there. You can, of course, download it from the stores, but to make sure like store searching, sometimes I can argue like I'm not fan of the store searching because they don't use really the search up to my standards. Yeah. So anyway, step you have there, you have the links that you can download for iOS, for Android. All you need is a phone number. You receive an OTP, you are in. No, you don't need to set up an account with password or anything. Like it's very easy process. And you can directly, you are inside, you can start discovering F&B. Also connecting with us, you can, so our website, if you are an F&B business and you want to join our platform, on the website, there is a form. You fill it directly. Our visitor will contact with you mostly in the same day. Like also, we have our LinkedIn places. It's also we also, by the way, I like to mention at the end, we also becoming S&P influencers ourselves. So on Instagram,
Nice.
just like Big Places UAE, if you want to follow influencers who will tell you about the restaurants without getting paid to what to say, I will say like most.
Authentic
If you go,
way.
if you go to our Instagram page, you will find something. Most of the restaurants we spoke about, maybe you don't know about them, and they are really great. Like
Cool.
so, all of these are channels. Plus, many people come to me to my personal LinkedIn. That's also like welcome. Now like the workplace is easy. You can search places anywhere and you will find us. Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
mainly the website is the main channel. If you want directly land on something to us, get
sure.
placesyuri.com is the way to go.
Okay. I forget to ask you this, Walid. Any plans to expand in the region?
Like currently, we are only in Dubai. We are only in one city. Like
Okay.
we have plans to expand in other cities and other countries, of course, but we will do it in the right way. Like Dubai itself has around 10,000 F&B places. If I say
Yeah,
I want to have the risk data, I have to research all this, I have to give Dubai its own
big
focus.
effort.
And then and also once you build the brand, it's easier to start moving the model to other areas because people know who you are. When we started, no one knows places. As you call a restaurant, you need data. Like it was a challenge. Now it's much easier. So we'll have
Absolutely.
plans to expand when we say it's ready. When we say we are ready to, when we say we fulfill Dubai 100%.
Absolutely. I like this. I like to start small and then grow later. And for the audience, you will find the link in the show notes. So if you are listening to us on your favorite podcasting app, you will find the link to the website, and the Instagram and the LinkedIn in the show notes. If you are watching this on YouTube, you will find in the description below. Walid, I really enjoyed this discussion, and I'm happy because I talked to a CTO sitting in the same region. I get so excited when I do this, and for the reasons we mentioned at the end of the episode. So thank you very much for your time and the valuable information you shared. I think you shared really gems, I would say, for any CTO, or whether they are in the region or globally, about choosing technology, how they can overcome the challenges. So I really enjoyed the discussion with you today. And, this is how I end my episodes. Usually, this is for the audience. If you just discovered this podcast by luck, thank you for passing by. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did so, please give us, some encouragement by subscribing and sharing it with your friends and colleagues. And if you are one of the people who are loyal to us, keep sending me their comments, suggestions, something you like, you don't like, doesn't matter. I read them all. I appreciate your honest feedback. Keep them coming. And as I say always, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be again very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hit that subscribe button, share the show with your tech-savvy friends and fellow entrepreneurs, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Your support means the world to us.